Okay, so we'll get started. It's 4:02. First, let me just thank everybody for jumping on. I'm going to be in the process of trying to give you guys some information that I hope will be helpful. Hey, Michelle. Um, if you're not familiar with Zoom, there is a chat box. You're welcome to drop any questions in there that you may have as I go along. Just to give some housekeeping rules or guidelines. If you do have something to write with, please, by all means, feel free to take notes. Um, if you are able to access your computer with your charts, I will be sharing my screen in a moment. With your charts, then feel free to pull that up in case there's something that you have been looking at on your chart that you don't quite understand or what's going on. I may be able to answer the question for you. I don't, let me give my disclaimer. I'm not here to say I know everything. I don't. I'm learning just like all of you, but I want to share what I've known so far to help enlighten some more people that may have just gotten into this. We're not talking strategy. We're not doing any trades. This is not a live trading session. The only thing, the goal is to be met today with this session is to help some people kind of get familiar with what you have in your hands, okay? So that's what we're here to do. The purpose today is just to get comfortable with what we've been embarking on. So if you can hear me clearly, if I'm coming across well, please put a 1 in the chat box for me. Please put a 1 in the chat box for me. Appreciate that, Martina. Thank you, Michelle. I don't want to mess your name up. I'm going to say Shavia. I might be wrong, but anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Awesome. All right. So there are some things that we're going to go over. We're going to do support. Hang on a second. Okay, that was Big Brother Kurt. But anyway, so thank you, Shabia. All right, I said it right. I have a last name that people tend to mispronounce as well. So I'm very conscious when I'm trying to pronounce a name that, and I don't like mispronouncing names. But anyway, moving along. So if you are near your computers, please have them. If you have a question about the charts, indicators, how to place them, what they're supposed to look like. If your chart doesn't look like what theirs look like when we're on the live trading sessions, we may be able to address those issues or try to at least. If there's something I just cannot answer, then I will definitely get someone to help us and move forward from there, all right? So as people are joining, just want to give a little background about who I am. My name is Sybil Pierce. I have a couple of businesses, but the Forex trading is something that I like doing because it's exciting. It's always something to learn, and there's always a challenge, and I'm one that likes to be challenged. So this is something that I do put a lot of time and effort in. And no matter how good people think they are, there's always another strategy, another way to do it. There's no one way to do it. And that's what I like about this. And we have a great team. We have a great opportunity with this organization. And you stand to make some potentially good money for you and your family, not only through the trading, but also growing your business, okay? And I'm a minister, I preach, but I'm also down to earth and I'm just a realist. I believe that people are in situations that for some reason, there, whatever reason you're there is not to be judged because we all have the opportunity to grow, change, and do better. And I think all of us being here at this time, right now, is the reason for a lot of us being here, okay? So welcome Arlene, welcome Jill. I'm placing you guys on mute. I'm just here on a soapbox for a moment, simply because I want to allow people to join. I just got a word from Kirk. There's some people are still inquiring about the password and trying to join. But welcome to everybody on this call. I'm excited for each and every one of you. Please, if you do have something to write on or write with, by all means, grab it. If you are able to get to your computer in the event that you have some questions about your chart, then that would be a good time to grab it. All right. Okay, great. All right, so there's a question in the chat room, and so just to let you know, like before I answer that question, those of you just joining, this is not going to be about trading. This is not about strategy. All we're doing is familiarizing ourselves with the Forex basics, with the charts, and maybe you've gotten on a live trading session and you've seen all these lines and red and blue candles, and they're talking about this and that, and you're just trying to get caught up to speed. Well, we're going to take this time. And slow it down and give you guys an opportunity to learn and ask questions before the next live trading session. So there is a question in the, I'll be sharing my screen in a moment, guys. There is a question in the chat box, and it's mentioning about the demo account and the trading pair. So I think what you are asking is about where they have at the bottom, there's the currency changer, and so that's an indicator, but there is a way to access your pairs from within the metaphor as well, so we'll go over that. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'll have a naked chart up there. Bear with me. All right, can everyone see my chart? If so, put a 2 in the chat box for me. You can see my chart. All right. Welcome, John. Thank you for joining. Awesome. Okay. So this is just a naked chart. Now, what I know, you'll see different things. You'll observe different things. You'll see green candles and red candles. You'll see all kind of lines going left and right. But this right now is just the pair AUD-NZD, and it is just a naked chart. My candles I don't have any indicators on here. I do not have anything other than my candles showing, okay, and the pair. I'm even going to close this out. All right. So this is something that you may look at and it may look differently. So the first thing I want to go over is how do you change the colors of your candles? How do you set your candles? And knowing how to do that basic thing in metaphor, okay?
How you doing? Fine. I'm not here to work.
You can put yourselves on mute.
Did you leave campus?
I left last night. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name? You staff?
Hmm?
You staff here?
Yeah, I'm staff.
Help you.
All right, let's see if I can put everyone. Guys, if you are able to place yourself on mute, and I will try to do it as I go along as well. All right. Awesome. Okay. So this chart is naked, meaning there's no indicators. There isn't anything on there. I have hollow candles. That's just a preference. When it comes to how your candles look, that is strictly preference. There is no rule of thumb for that. You can have it hollow, you can have it filled. So I'm going to show you how to do both, okay? When you right click on your chart, go down here to properties, you'll see this window open up. And if it looks like this where it says common, then I need you to look up here. There's 2 tabs. You can click on colors, and then you will have what I see here before me, okay? Let's do this. All right. So this is what you should be looking at. If you're doing it along with me, great. If not, take notes. Right click on your chart, go down to properties, and this will pull up. If you do not see this menu here on the side, if it looks like this when it first shows up, then just come over here and click on colors, and now you should see your candles and your window on your chart. All right, so bar up right here, this is indicating the outline of your candle. It will also display the wick. If you don't know what a wick is, we'll go over that shortly. So bar up means the market is moving up. So if something is going up, you want to indicate it with one color, and if it's going down, you want to indicate that candle as another color. Typically, from the charts I've seen, the going up, when market is bullish, there's mostly going to be a green candle or a blue candle. Okay, so if you see someone's chart, typically if you see a blue or green candle, that means that candle is showing a bullish trend. Okay, so you can pick green, you can pick blue, whatever you pick, that's what it's going to the outline is going to be. And if you notice here, it did change to green. It hasn't changed on my chart yet because I had not clicked OK, but this gives you kind of like a preview of what it would look like, right? So my bar up, I'm changing it to green. My bar down is red. If I wanted it to be yellow, I could set it to yellow, if whatever your preference is. But typically, the bearish candle will be red on most people's charts. If you wanted yours hollow like mine, then you would select the bull candle. Again, bullish means up, and you would click none. However, if you do not prefer the hollow candle, by all means, you can change it to whatever color you want. Typically, some people want the bar up and the bull candle to match the same colors. Some people don't. You can put it a whole different color as long as you know how you've identified the bullish candle from the bearish candle. But again, that's all about preference. Okay. Again, the same thing with the bear candle. I'm going to select for it to be red. And notice that the candles are no longer showing hollow. My line graph is set to white. That is another form of a chart. You have the candles, or you can use your lines, but either way, it's a way to see what price action is doing on the chart. I set mine to white, but you can set it to whatever color you prefer by selecting that down arrow. Volumes are shown as white. That's a preference thing. You have your ask line, and what that means is where's price at right now. Whatever color you want that identified as on your chart, that's what it will display, and what your stop levels are will be white. Okay. So my background is set to black. I just prefer the black background compared to white, but again, this is all preference. Feel free to get in there and maneuver around your settings till you find a chart to your liking, okay? The main thing you want to do is have your bearish candles showing one color and your bullish candles showing another. I have even seen where there were some charts that had the candles the same color, but one was hollow and one was not. There are some traders that will tell you they don't care what color the candles are because they already know their technical analysis and they can analyze the market and know what trend they're in and so on and so forth. But if you want your candle or you want your chart to look more like the leaders of the group when we're on a live trading session, you want them to have at least two different colors, okay? All right, so once I click OK, you notice it did change on my chart, right? So now that I have my candle set the way I want to talk about the candle a little bit. Here you have your bar chart. It almost looks like a candle, but there's a skinny stick, and then you have a peg to the left and a peg to the right. So basically, if I have this bearish candle, this bearish bar, the peg on the left will show where price closed, and the peg on the right shows where price opened. Same for the green. This is letting me know this was a bullish candle, and the peg, it opened here and it closed here. It opened here and closed here. This was almost the same open and close spot, but just remember what's on the left is where that particular bar opened, and on the right is where it closed. Some people do use the bar chart, but it's a preference, but most people use the candle, all right, which is here. So these skinny lines are the wicks, all right. There's a candle Bible, a book. It's in a PDF form. And if you have not gotten it, I don't know if we put it in our group, but it describes what a doji candle is, what an engulfing candle is, what is an indecisive candle. You will hear the leaders of the group talk about this as they are showing the charts and anticipating taking a trade. I'm not going to go over that, but I do want to explain to you just a couple things about the wick, what it means. Um, Basically, the candle itself is where price open and close, right? The wick lets you know where price went to at some point during this time frame of this candle. So some point price came all the way down here, and then it retraced back here, and then it closed before it opened the next candle. These things are important when you're looking to anticipate what the next move is going to be. All right. So whenever you see them talking about wicks, oh, it looks very wicky, that's letting you know that there was the move. It wasn't a lot. I'm not going to say it wasn't a lot of volatility, but there was a lot of either buying pressure or selling pressure at the moment in the market, and that kind of ends up making, here we have the downtrend, but then we started going sideways a little bit. The candles got a little smaller, okay? So it kind of can let you know where volume is about to leave the market. It could also be an indication of a change in a trend. Here we were on a downtrend in this move, and now we're kind of going sideways. The market is consolidating. Well, it may be an indication that market will either go up or it will continue to go down. But market is tending to try to correct itself with the volume that it has in it at the time, okay? So know that that's what people are talking about when you hear they say that it's kind of wicky. Why is the wick important? Because I do want to know that price did come down here, but then the sellers came and pushed it back up because they might want to try to change the trend of whatever the move is for that particular pair, okay? Setting up your chart with the indicators, we have the website that's up and running, and people are able to go to the website and download the indicators. Let me pause this for a second. And give me a count right quick. If you have any issues setting up indicators on your chart by placing a 3 in the chat room, so I know how in depth I need to go with that. If you have any issues setting up the indicators or have a problem with the indicator, downloading it, knowing how to get it into your folder so that it can show up on your metaphor. All right. All right, I got 2 3s. Anybody else? Okay. Michelle asks, you don't have the section, you got the symbol changer. Yes, that is the symbol changer. That is the symbol changer that you see that is in a window, and all of the tabs have the different pairs. Give me a second, guys. I've got a quick text. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go over that briefly while we're on this section. All right, so you have your, let's see. Hang on. All right. All right, so these little icons up here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, you have like a little yellow goldish folder and a star. If you click that, it will open up this panel here on the left, and that is where your indicators that are currently on your metaphor are. When you download any new ones, because metaphor will come with some basic indicators. They'll have this trend, oscillators, volumes, Bill Williams, download and examples. I think that comes kind of pre-installed, and you can click these little expanded the trend, and here you'll see several of them that fall under the trend indicator. Same for the oscillators, and so on and so forth. There's several of them that we do use. There's some that we don't. Different traders use different indicators. I'll draw your attention because the group is now kind of gearing towards the Gulf of Mexico strategy. So here under the trend indicator, you'll see the moving average. This is where you would use it to get it using the settings for the Gulf of Mexico on your chart. And I'll go over that in a second, what those coordinates are for those for the moving average. And then down here and under Bill Williams, you'll see the fractals. Okay, so I definitely want to draw your attention to the moving average under the trend and fractals under Bill Williams. Okay. All right, so when you need to add an indicator that you don't have, you downloaded it from our team's website, globalfxtrade.com, you would come here to File and Open Data Folder. That's going to open up your Metaphor folder so that you can input or enter or copy and paste any of your indicators that you're wanting to use, right? So MQL4, profiles, and templates. Matter of fact, just focus on MQL4 and templates. There is a template that we have on our website that kind of has the whole package already together, the settings of all the indicators and everything. If you download that, you would have to come to this part of your templates and drop it in here. You can copy and paste it in here. And the reason why I copy and paste is because I like to keep a folder of all of the indicators and everything that I download from the site, as well as putting it in here. So I kind of have two copies of it because this, I may not want to use LQDFX's Metaphor platform. I may want to download Hugo's way, or I may want to have multiple FX choices. You know, this way all of my indicators are in one location and I copy and paste it into the folder of whatever Metaphor platform I'm using. All right. So this is for the templates. This is not where you put your indicators. This is only if you see a template download on our website, this is where it goes. Okay. If you wanted to go and I'm going to back up, that's where your templates are. But to put the indicators, you'll have to go here in MQL4. Here you notice you have experts, and then down here you have indicators, and then you have libraries. So the reason why I pointed out those three folders is because there are some indicators that will work in the experts folder, the trailing stop. I have a couple of them here that I use from time to time, but the main one that would be the primary one you would want to use that we hear them talk about in the live trading sessions is a trailing stop. And that's basically, they tell us to set our stop loss at 20 pips. Well, if you go into profit, he kind of tells you to move your take profit up as the pips count go up, move your take profit up. Well, that's what the trailing stop automatically does for you. You set it to 10 pip trail, 15 pip trail, 20 pip trail. But in order for this particular indicator to work, it has to be in the experts file. Okay. In the indicators, now if you have the other indicators, the symbol changer, the all the different indicators that they have, they would be put in the indicator folder. All right, you would drop it in here. Again, I copy and paste it in here. And once I'm done adding what I have, I close this out. And then you have to come here and right click and refresh. When it refreshes, all of the indicators that you added will then show up in this side panel here, okay? So that's how you add it to your MT4. So I'm gonna go over that again. Come up here, you click File, Open Data Folder, Indicators. You go to MQL4, double click on Indicators, add your indicators that you want to put in here, close it out, right click, refresh, and then your indicators will be there. Now to get it on your chart, you would simply come here and double click whatever it is, whatever indicator you're wanting on your chart. We use the pip counter. Some of you guys will see when we're in a trade, there'll be some numbers on the right hand side, probably in the gold color, and it's kind of either negative or positive, letting us know how many pips we're in profit or negative. That indicator is on our website. You would actually do the same thing to put it into the chart, and then you would double click it, and it's called, I'll know it when I see it. When you do add it though, it will not show up unless you are actually in a trade. Okay, so sometimes people don't understand that and they think it's not working, but it'll only show up. There it is, X 2014 pips B2. When I double click it, it'll pull up this window here. We are taught to add or allow DLL imports, allow modification of signals, and you want to do this for all indicators so that if the producer of this indicator should update it or change it, it would automatically apply to our indicator. The colors, honestly, I've toyed with it, I've changed it, but none of these colors mean anything. They do not do anything, so I don't know why it's there. Your visualization, this, but if you were to only want it to apply to a particular chart, a time frame, you can deselect all time frames and select which one, but ideally we're going to want it for all time frames. Okay, once you click OK, you'll see it. Now I'm in a trade currently, so that's what you're seeing on my screen. Let me take a picture while I'm at it, y'all. So as you can see, the trade will automatically tell you this overall plus 22 is a combination of what I'm negative and what I'm positive, okay? So that it won't be a distraction. I am going to remove it because I don't want that to be a distraction. But you get to also see how to remove an indicator if you no longer want it. So right click, go to indicator list right here. This is also a keyboard shortcut, Control I. If you go there, you will have all of your indicators listed here. Click on it one time. You can either edit it, like let's say you forgot to select the DLL. You click edit, it'll open back up that window, or you can delete. And when you delete it, it will remove it. Because these are so many words, I will now have to individually right click and remove everything once it's no longer an active indicator. Most of the indicators would just delete the whole thing, but I guess because it was so much different, so many different words and numbers, I keep clicking the same thing. All right, so we're back to our naked chart. That's how you would add an indicator or an expert, such as the e-trailing, in your folder. Does anyone, pause, does anyone have any questions? Let me check the chat box. Okay, Sharice, I will get with you after this. I'll send you a message on Telegram, and we can probably do a one-on-one so I can get more details about what you're referenced to. Or when we have Q&A at the end of this, you might be able to ask a question. But does anybody and everyone understand how to put the indicators onto the Meta 4? Put a 4 in the chat box if you understand. If you don't, please ask your questions at this time before I move on. Awesome. All right. Good deal. All right, let me all right. Y'all hear me popping and closing out some trades. All right, cool beans. Let me get back to business. Thank you for your patience. Okay, So the next thing I want to go over, we talked about charts, we talked about indicators, um, sell versus buy trades. I'm going to touch on it briefly. If I need to go into more detail, then I will. But the foreign exchange market, some people have, they get confused with other types of markets. Okay, let's pause for a second. Michelle, will you be able to share your screen with me so I can look and see what it is that you're having a concern with? Mimi, the website is www.globalfxtradeclub.com, and I'll type it in the chat box. Let me stop sharing. Michelle, do you feel comfortable sharing your screen? If you will just answer yes or no, then I'll stop sharing and allow you to share yours. Someone else may also have the same concern. All right, let me type this, stop share. All right, Michelle, go ahead and share your screen. And Mimi, I'm gonna type the website, the web address in the chat. You can write it down and go to it. So Mimi, I'm gonna ask that you go to the Telegram group to get the password. It does change, I want to say monthly. And we don't post it in here, but we do have it posted in our group. And once you have the password, you'll be able to go to the tab that has the templates and indicators. All right, Michelle, you can share your screen whenever you're ready, and I'll take a look and see if you can get your question answered. If you're on the computer with your chart, it will be helpful while you're on Zoom. So if you guys are on your phone on Zoom and then separately on your computer with your chart, if you're going to have to share your screen, you might have to log on to Zoom through your computer in order for me to do the share screen so I could see. Because if you share from your phone, all right.
Can you hear me? This is Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, I can hear you.
Okay, are you able to see my chart?
I don't see your chart on my end.
Well, I hit the green box that says share screen.
Okay. And then you should see another panel come open, and it's either going to be share screen or whatever else you may have open. You got to
Share.
click that. There you go.
Okay.
The learning experience is beautiful. We got it. Okay, so you have your symbol changer down here. All right, and I see the other one kind of opened up. So what was it that you are trying to get?
Okay, so I didn't have I think I had an empty box for symbol changer. There just weren't any symbols there.
Okay.
So when I scrolled down on my navigator and double click symbol changer, that's when the second box popped up on the top with all these symbols in it for the currency. But everybody else's screen, I see where the navigator panel is. Right above that is where it says market watch, and all of the other symbol changes are there, and they're like flashing different colors, and they're flashing different numbers, and I don't have that.
Okay, see where your mouse is? You see the little green and red, looks like diamonds in a square? If you move your mouse up, go up a little and go to your left.
My left?
Right there, click that.
This?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That's how you guys, and guys, I want you to learn that as well. If you wanted to get your market watch so that you can see the pairs and what they're doing, that's the symbol for it, okay? You can close your navigator panel if you wanted it to extend longer, but that's how you get to it. And if you wanted to take it off, You would go back to that same icon and click it, and it would close that window.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking about?
Yeah, because I just felt so crazy. Like, why does my chart not look like everybody else's? And I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know if it was something I had to like drag it to the chart and then it would pop up. I wasn't sure.
Right. Well,
But yeah, that's
now,
what I
so
was.
what happens here, depending on what is your default template, if you open up a chart from the Market Watch section, it's going to go to your default template. And if this, what you have here, looks like the Gulf of Mexico, if that's not your default template, then your new chart will open up completely different. So that's why we use the symbol changer. So if you click on one of the symbols while this window is open, from the symbol changer, it will change the no, we don't want you to place no trade
Okay.
unless you were wanting to. But
Oh no.
down here, the symbol changer where your indicator is on your chart, if you click on any of those tabs, it will change to that pair while keeping the same template. Okay. If you change from the Market Watch window on the left, then it may or may not apply if this isn't your default template. And I'm going to go over how to set a default template when we move forward from here, but
Okay.
it will open up as either naked chart or whatever is your default. So if you just started out and you haven't had a chance to change your template or set a new default, your chart is going to open up naked with just green candles, and you're going to be like, what in the world? So then you will have to go and apply this template. So now that we have answered your question, you can stop unless you have another question about
Oh
anything.
no.
Okay,
That's all. Thank you.
cool beans. All right, you can stop sharing, and we will go over how to. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
And we will go over how to set a template to be your default, so that no matter whenever you open up the chart, it will automatically show all of the indicators you have set. And if it's the Gulf of Mexico, then the Gulf of Mexico will show every time. I had a question in the chat. Let's see. All right. So the reason why I know it's the Gulf of Mexico because of the indicators. You had your fractals showing. You had your fractals showing. You had the moving averages, red, yellow, at the 100 and 200 setting, and that's an indication that that was the Gulf of Mexico template or strategy. So that's the reason why I knew that. All right. So since we're on about templates, all right. If you were to right click, go to template, and let's say this is the template I want. I want to keep this. I don't want any, whatever it is on my screen, that's the template I want it to be. Okay. Right click, right over here, you got template. You have the arrow to the right. If you want to save it, go all the way up here, click save. It's going to ask you for the name. You rename it what you want. So this one is going to be I put A, so they'll be at the top, and I ain't got to search all the way down the long list because it's alphabetized. A naked green. That's what I'm going to name it. Click save, and it's there. So now to apply a different template, you would right click on your screen, on your chart, move over to the right, and you can click on whatever template you have. Okay. My default is set to be something different. But let's say here I am on this chart and I want my naked chart again. Instead of me going and right clicking and removing every single indicator, which you can do, if I wanted to remove an indicator, you simply right click and go to indicator list and start deleting what you don't want. Okay, that's basically the simplest way to do it. And as I click delete, they start disappearing. and I'm back to where I started. Or I could right click and just go to the template that I set it up to be. What did I name it? A naked green. Okay. So sometimes when you find there's different strategies, like James, he used the 50 moving average. When I was on his session last night, I didn't see the Gulf of Mexico. So he uses our other strategy, our 10 pip and dip strategy, using the 50 moving average. He may have a different setup, a different template setup. You can, and if he gives you the coordinates and how your moving averages should be, you can apply it. And then you can save that template as James Vassar template or my Asian session template, whatever you want to name it. You can name it whatever you want. But that will be how you can switch quickly on the same pair with different templates that you may want, depending on what your purpose is, right? So to set it as your default so that if I want this chart to always open every time I open a chart, because I'll show you now, I'll go to open my market watch. What am I on? AUD, NZD. All right, I'm gonna open CHFJPY. Don't double click it because it's gonna think you wanna make a trade. You right click, new chart, and this is an old chart that I had. Different indicators, different things. This was my default. So as you can see, that's what it opened up to. Down here, where my mouse is, you'll see I have multiple windows. I have this window, this window, this window. But this is my default template right now. Okay. To open up another chart, right click, chart window, and it'll open it up. Now, I like the symbol changer. I have a different one than the one you have, Michelle, but it's still the same concept. If I don't want to keep opening up a new one, I can just click here and it will apply this template to every single pair I click on. And it'll tell me what it's doing currently. Okay, everybody see that? Got a question? Hang on. All right, Stefan, do what again? What is it that you can unmute yourself and tell me exactly what you need me to do again? I'll be glad to.
Hey, how you doing? Can you show how you put keep the same default graph?
Okay.
Template on every chart.
Okay, cool beans. I'll do that again. All right, so I'm going to change this template to what I want it to be. I'm going to do a naked green. All right, so we got a naked chart. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the Gulf of Mexico. I got the Gulf of Mexico template. I want this to be my permanent template, my default template. I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna go to templates. I'm just hovering over it. I don't have to click. Hover over it. The menu's gonna open up to the right. I'm gonna slide over to the right, go up here, click save. A window is gonna open up and you should already have a default template stored in there. So if you want this to be your default template, you would come here, find default, click it one time to change the name to it and click save. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to replace it? Yes. All right, so that's how you set it to your default. So now, no matter what I open up under Market Watch, this is the template that will apply compared to the other one you guys were seeing a few minutes ago, okay? So that's how you set a default template on the Meta-4, so that no matter what, you close your chart and you open it back up on that computer, on that device, it will open up with these settings in this chart, okay? Hang on, I got a
Hi,
question. Yeah.
Silver. Silver. Hi,
Yes,
this is Patricia.
Hey, Patricia.
Hi. Can we have this this chart here on an iPad? Can we download it to?
The templates,
Yes.
Because what I like about the Gulf of Mexico, it uses the basic templates, basic indicators already that come with the metaphor. So you won't be able to apply this template the way I just did. You're gonna have to go in and manually set your settings. So you'll have to set your own moving average, 5, the 100, and the 200, and you can activate the fractals. Now the support and the resistance that you see here, that's an indicator that would not be available on iPad devices, mobile phones, but applying the strategy that Nate had taught with the moving averages and the fractals, you would be able to accomplish taking trades.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, unfortunately, though, I think in the future they will, but the indicators only work with a Windows computer. I think there's even some issues with a Mac computer. Some indicators don't work on it, but
Okay.
yeah, but you would be able to use these settings with the moving averages and apply it. And once you set it on your iPad or your phone, it will always stay there until you change it.
Okay.
They're all working on mine, Sybil.
Okay.
You have yours.
But I
He
had-
have his on his iPad.
Well, no, a MacBook, but I had to set up a VPS, so you're talking a little more involved.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have but on the original iPad itself, without the VPS, without the virtual network, you wouldn't be able to do it. Even remote desktop with Windows users. I have one on my team that has a Chromebook, and I think he had to set up remote desktop usage in order to do it. But the program was running on his main desktop, and then he used his Chromebook. So I'm not familiar with the iPad. I'm sorry, I'm an Android and Windows person, but by all means, we're a team. If we have questions, I'm sure we can help each other out figuring out how to get it to work.
Okay. Thank you.
And who was that was talking that it was working on theirs?
You talking about on my MacBook?
Yeah, what's your name?
That's Sam.
Okay, Sam, good.
Green eggs and ham.
You rap too, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my naked chart. All right, so we're comfortable with getting the indicators in and everything. If so, if not, if there are any questions, please ask them at this time. Let's see, check my chat box. All right, so Stefan, you good?
Yes, ma'am, I'm good.
Awesome. All right, so just out of curiosity, do we have anybody who's unclear? I think I touched on it and I switched talking. Unclear about the sell trade versus the buy trade. Does anybody not understand that we can make a profit even in a sell trade as well as in a buy trade? I asked that not to sound facetious, but one of my business partners, their concept is but when you buy, you're gaining. When you're selling, you're losing. And that's a normal way of thinking in most marketplaces, but with the Forex, I had to take a little longer to get them to understand that when it's in a sell, you still can make a profit. Does anybody have anything that's not clear to them about the selling and the buying trades and how we can profit in both? Okay, all right, cool. So let's go over that a little bit. All right, so now these little things I just clicked here, when you have them clicked, if you try to go back, you're gonna find that your chart will probably fly back to the way it was, like it just did. So if you unclick them, you'll be able to go as far back as you want, okay? So sometimes you'll see me click it and unclick it. That's all I'm doing. Let me find another pair.
Can I ask something, or
Sure.
should I type? Oh, okay. I didn't know if I had to type it in the chat.
No, you're good.
Yeah, with this with this chart, you're just using moving averages. This is no fractals, no Gulf of Mexico. This just moving average, right? Or engulfing candle style.
So I haven't discussed any strategies and I haven't discussed any trading. But the question about how to set it up on the iPad was brought up. So yes, the moving, this chart that I have showing here, am I making sure I'm showing? Okay. This is a naked chart. I don't have any indicators on here at all. This is just candles. I will give the coordinates, I'm gonna say, for the Gulf of Mexico for the moving averages, so everyone will know when they want to set up how and what numbers they need to be looking at. I will go over that, but
Oh,
I have not
perfect.
applied it yet. Yep, I will
Okay.
go over that on this.
Perfect. That's what I need.
Cool. That will be brought up after we get through this part.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
You're welcome, dear. All right, so here we see, let me zoom out a little bit. All right, I'm on the CAD CHF pair. And going back as far as February, I'm on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I told you it's an average. All right. Here we obviously have a sell trend. We have some green candles that are in between there, but ultimately the trend is a downward move. So this would be safe to say that on this 4-hour chart, this whole move was a downward trend. And if someone entered this trade for a sell, and they would have went down here and closed out before it wick, they would have got 770 something pips, right? And that took that first number. If you guys see where my crosshairs are, there's a number right there that's, and my hand isn't steady, forgive me. There's 75, then it's a slash, then it's 7505 or whatever slash. Then if I let it go, it's going to disappear, so I have to hold it. And then behind it is the 0 point whatever. All right. So the first set of numbers is letting you know how many candles went from where you started to where you are now. So that was 76 candles that moved from where I started to where I am now. That was 76 candles. So if you multiply 76 times 4, since it's a 4-hour for each candle, you will know how long it took to get there. All right. So at this point, you made 761. It says 7616 in that middle column in between both slashes. That's your pip count. But the last number is a pipette. So you're going to count the first digits that are before, and the last one you just don't include in your pip count when you're giving a whole number. So that's 760 pips where my hand is at now with the 2 pipette, right? So that's how I know that took 78 hours to get to where my crosshair is, 76 hours, and I would have gotten 758 pips. So when the leaders are counting pips or they're doing it quickly, that's how they know what pips is and where we're at. The last number behind the final slash is basically where the price is at, where the cursor is. It's at 0.66909. All right. So how you get to draw that, up here you have your crosshair. Click it one time. You see, I have no mouse buttons selected at this time. I'm just moving my mouse by itself. When I get to the point where I want to start my measurement, I pause and then I left click and drag it down to where I want to be, wherever I want to go. As long as I don't let it go, that count is going to keep an account of what I'm doing, how many pips, how many candles, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how the leaders kind of know. Okay, that was 470 something pips right there when they're talking, because of this allows us to count. Okay, so I'm drawing that to show you that the move went down, and if we were to get into this trade as a sell trade, it doesn't matter so much about how much the value of the pairs are. We are letting market know that we are getting in a trade for a sell. And it's the anticipation that price is going down. And as long as the pip count corresponds with the type of trade that we're in, the pip count is going down, we are in a sell trade, anticipating that downward move, we gain a profit. It doesn't mean that we're losing money because the value of that dollar is decreasing. It doesn't mean anything about that. It's a pip count and profit. The main things we do consider are what is our spreads, because that tells us from where price is to where the broker has it set. Those pips in between are going to always go to the broker. What's our spread and how many pips do we get beyond that spread will be our profit. It's up to us to tell market or tell the brokers how we're entering the trade in the market. Are we anticipating a sell? Then they're going to allow us to count those pips going down and get a profit. Or are we anticipating a buy, meaning market is going up? So the terminology sell and buy is not so much that I'm selling this dollar. We're not. I'm not buying the dollar. I'm not doing anything with that dollar other than entering a trade, letting them know that I'm either going to anticipate a downward move of this currency or upward move. So the buy is just more of a directional phase, more so than a purchase. And a sell, the same way, is a directional thing, more so than selling. So that's why in this market, if I were to come here and I went in, even though we were kind of in a sell trend, some consolidation here, and it went down some more, but then the market kind of decided price action wanted to go up. If I got into this trade as a buy, then I would have gained 301 pips, right? 9 candles later, I would have gained the 300 and some odd pips. Well, if I would have gotten in here as a sell, well, we told market we're anticipating a downward move, but it didn't go that way. If I would have went in to sell, then I would have been negative 300 and something pips, because the anticipation of what trade I'm in didn't correspond with the move of the market. All right, so did that answer the question? Does that make sense? Give me a 5 in the chat room if that makes sense. Awesome. All right, yeah, we get into the terminology. We think we're going to buy something. We're not buying the currency. We're not selling the currency. We're just going with the move of the market. And based off the move, whether or not the money is at losing whatever value, we're anticipating that move, and we're going to ride it down or we're going to ride it up. So that's the difference with versus stocks, where if you're selling, you're losing, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So we've talked about the chart indicators, sell versus buy trades. We talked about candles and wicks, pips and profits. So before I get into lot sizes, everybody understands trending. I tell you what, we're going to talk about trends, support, and resistance really quickly. You guys have seen there's an indicator that we do have, but what that indicator does, you'll see, let me see if I can turn it on real quick so you can see what I'm talking about while I'm talking. All right. You guys see the leaders charts have this. I'm gonna go down to a lower time frame. I'm not used to having such a naked chart. It looks funny to me.
You know what time frame to choose to enter the market, or it doesn't matter?
We have traders that trade on every time frame. I heard Donnie say he knows someone that trades on a minute. Gold, you want to be on a lower time frame because it's more volatile. But when you're doing your analysis, some people start with the day to determine what price is doing, where it's at, and where it's going, and how it's moving for the day. They go back so far. Then they go down to the 4 hour. This is all part of analysis. If you watch the video in your Tradera that goes over market analysis, you will learn this strategy of trying to get a feel of where market is. Our group for the 10 pip and dip strategy, or the Gulf of Mexico strategy, is ideally around the 15-minute time frame. If you down the line decide that you want to be more of a long-term trader, you would focus more on days, weeks, and months. Now, when the banks, the government, when they put money into this market, because they do, they are in it for a long period of time, okay? Each one, I'm on a month chart. So each one of these candles is a month. It took a month to form just one candle. They will have been in this trade for that long. So they would probably be doing their analysis from a monthly chart because the anticipation of staying in that trade is going to be that long. So to answer your question, for purposes of you starting out, you're going to focus on the 15-minute because we're scalping. Scalpers take short-term trades. We're in and we're out. We're in and we're out. We're in and we're out. We're not trying to sit in that trade for weeks at a time. We have one of the leaders, Chris. He's gotten really good at swing trading, intraday trading. He's in a trade for maybe a week, few days, and he's gaining a lot of pips. But he's in that trade, and there is a lot of ups and downs. And if you're not mentally or psychologically prepared, when you start seeing that negative, it's going to mess with your mind. Okay? So you have to be mentally trained to understand that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs when you intraday trade, but the profit is worth it in the end. So if you are just scalping, the lower time frames, an hour and less, would be ideal. If you are looking to get into intraday trading, swing trading, then you would focus on the higher time frames, 4-hour day, weeks, or month.
And those alerts that's on Tradera, those are in 15-minute time frame.
I think the alerts that Tradera sends out are more on the hour. I think Josh likes to do the hour, and I don't know how his team does, but those alerts, pretty much, you can get the alert, and our leaders tend to do an analysis of their alerts before they jump in. They will open the charts. They've even had time, I've seen Kirk jump on the Zoom and analyze the move and apply whatever strategies we're using to see if we're going to take the trade or not. You know, even with Tradera's alerts, they're very good. They have a lot of wins, more than losses, but we are trying to get people comfortable with taking a trade based off their own analysis. Even if Donnie says, I'm gonna take a buy on GBP, we want to still feel comfortable to know, okay, did I miss the entry? Did I not get in at the right time? I didn't see the text until 15 minutes later. Did I miss the move? I don't need to be jumping in or not. So learning, that's the skill set that's being taught in conjunction with, so it wouldn't matter the time frame, God bless you. It wouldn't necessarily matter the time frame if you did your own analysis along with the alert to see, are you gonna get in that trade?
All right.
But I do think they are geared around the hour. I've been on their live trading sessions and that's what I remember seeing. So, but they do a top-down analysis too. When they chart, they do their own charting to set their support resistance that we're gonna talk about here in a moment. And then they kind of get to the hour. Now they will go down. So if you were on an hour chart and price was, you know, one candle's taking a long time to form, you got to wait a whole 60 minutes for that candle to do what it's going to do. You can go down to a lower chart time frame just to see what's going on in that hour. You'll see more movement and you'll know, okay, I'm hitting resistance over here. That's why this candle isn't moving up like I want it to. So you can even just use it just to see what's going on if you already are in a trade as well. Or
So if you're in that trade, say, and you're on the hour time frame, pretty much you expecting something to happen within the hour, or just because you jumped in on the hour, because your analysis said that something within the hour is going to happen, not on the 15 minutes.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, your hour, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 5-minute, it's all the same thing.
Gotcha.
Because it has to take it has to take 4 candles on the 15 minutes for this candle to finish doing what it's doing, right?
Yeah.
What you're doing, what I've learned to do is I use the lower time frames to show me when I need to get in, to be more precise in my entry. Because right now it's 5:07 p.m. This candle right here has just formed. All right, so we're 7 minutes into this candle, and let's say Tradera sent us an alert to get into CAD CHF for a sell. Well, we might get in here and we didn't get it right when they sent it. We're 10 minutes out, and do I get in now or not? Well, I see the candle quicken, so that lets me know that price did come down here at some point, but it's going back up. Well, now I'm going to go down to a lower time frame to see. Let me mark that candle so we'll know where we're at. I'm gonna go down to a lower time frame, see what's going on. Okay, go down to a 5, go down to your minute. You're seeing more activity to know, okay, it is still continuing down in a downward move. I don't see a lot of support pushing, wanting to, buying pressure in the market, wanting to push it back up. They called for a sell. Well, maybe I will get in for a sell.
Gotcha.
Now, because this candle, I know I went down, because this candle just formed and we haven't gotten past the 15-minute mark, that's why it's still on the first candle. But if I was, for purposes of doing this, let's go back to this candle. Going down to a lesser time frame, here's where you're marked at, but now you see what happened, what has happened. It went up. So even though you're on an hour and you're looking at this green, let's say they called it at the beginning, you would go down to a lower time frame to see, okay, was there any red candles forming? Is it going down? Is there any support? Is there any resistance? And you kind of fine tune when you would enter the trade, even if you were trading on an hour chart.
Gotcha.
Any other questions about that?
Nope.
With, when you get the alerts, are they saying, like if they send an alert, let's say you sign up for the Tradera alerts, right?
Right.
If they say go into a trade, does that mean right that time, or does that mean an hour from now?
Okay, so when they send out the trade, they have already decided, I'm taking this trade for a buy, and these are the stop losses, this is the take profits. It is for you to take the trade when you get it. They're sending it out, letting you know they are getting in that trade at that time.
Okay.
With those parameters. They're offering you the ability to jump in as soon as possible as well. Every trade that you get may not require, I remember one night I was on there with Josh and we was looking at a pair and the analysis was looking good. We thought we was going in to sell. He jumped in, I jumped in, and next thing I know, I'm in the hole. Market and price went the other way, right? It happens. So sometimes waiting is not always a bad thing. If you know the pairs, the GBB pairs, they're volatile. They tend to move when their session is open. You're gonna see a lot of volume. The CAD, the chefs, they don't move as much. You hear the leaders talk about the ADR, the average daily range. It lets you know an average how many pips moves on this pair in a day. If it's under 100, it's a slow moving pair. You're not going to see a whole lot of up and down volatility. So you may have more time to get into a trade, than if he gave USD JPY, during the New York session. You might want to get in quicker because that move might already have happened by the time you get to it. So just knowing that type of pair, knowing that type of information about the pairs also helps you determine. But there really is no one size fits all answer. But the goal for them is sending these alerts to help us get a trade because they're taking it under the pretenses that they believe that they're going to profit based off their analysis. So you would potentially get in the trade when they send it. We recommend doing an analysis before you do. And as you continue to get more skilled, you'll be able to look at certain things and notice certain things. You'll be like, no, that's consolidation. I'm not getting in that right now. I'm gonna wait and see after it gets past this particular point here, after it gets out of structure. You'll be able to apply your own, because every trade is not meant to be taken, but it does give you something to look at and consider if you're gonna take the trade. Any other questions?
Yes, I've noticed that when they do have that, it'll say like number one, number two, number three.
Right.
Can you explain that?
Yes. Let me see if I can pull one up. One of their give me a second. I have them on my phone, so I'm gonna have to get it on my computer. And then I'll go over that as well. These are really good questions. I hope I'm able to answer a lot of your questions. I hope this is helpful because that was my goal. I know how it feels to want to do something and you don't really know all of the details of what you're trying to do. So hopefully this is helpful. All right, let me.
Do you do these videos often? Cause I'm at work and I'm just trying to follow you and I'm missing stuff in between. Do you do these often?
This is my first time doing this because a lot of my team members were kind of in need of it. So I was originally just doing it for my team, but for some reason, I felt like it could be offered to other people, and so I'll discuss it with the leaders. I probably will do it because some of my team members couldn't make it on,
Yeah, you
and
need to record. You need to record it because yeah.
There's a lot of good information.
I am recording it as well, and
Oh,
I'm probably
awesome.
going to put it on the YouTube so I can send out the link, and maybe that'll help versus trying to get on at a certain time. Some people may not because of work schedule, so I am recording it. All right, I'm gonna pause my screen share for a second so I can convert over to showing this alert signal.
When they put an alert out letting you know that there's a buy available, is it easy to jump on to see and get right where they are at the time? I know you said you might miss it, which I understand that because you know if it's not already up, but is there an easy way to just get into it? I might have missed that question already.
No, you didn't. Well, basically, what happens is when they send the signal, I have Metaphor on my phone, and because I'm not always near my computer, so I will see the signal come on my phone, and then I will open up Metaphor and go to that pair. And then when I see whatever it is that's going on with that pair, I decide, am I going to take it or am I not? Am I going to jump in for this buy? Am I not? I have gone in and done and made the trade, whether it was a buy or sell. And then once I did click it, then I went back and set my take profit, stop losses. Because trying to do that while you're trying to make a trade, that's taking time away from getting in at the market price that you need to get in at. So let's see if this works. All right, do you guys see a screenshot of the Tradera signal on your screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's 2 and 1. I didn't feel like cropping, but the top one, Tradera's trade team is placing a buy trade on AUD NZD at the current market price. And they say that because they don't know when you're going to get it. So they don't tell you a price of 0.0 such and such and such, because you'll get it and it may be a minute later and price will have changed by that time. But whatever the current price is when you open it up, with the following parameters: your stop loss. That's telling you, like you hear our leaders in the group tell us, we shouldn't do more than a 20 pip stop loss and adding the spread. So what a stop loss is that's where we tell market, we tell the brokers, we do not want to go past this amount as a loss. So I'm anticipating a buy, but market price changed and went the other way into a sell, and I don't want to lose any more than 1.07168. So when price action hits this number, the broker will take you out the trade, and you will have only taken a loss in that whatever it was from you went in to this number here, right? Versus it not doing that and it keeps going down, 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 and you lose a lot more. So you pretty much let the brokers know what your limit is or what you're willing to lose with a stop loss. And I'll show you how to manually set that on your computer. You take profit 1. So whatever price you got in at, because it's a buy, it should be a lesser number than 1.07655. So when you go and open up your chart after you got the alert to determine if you want to get in, if you know you're going in for a buy, then your take profit needs to be higher than the number that you're going in at. So if your number is not, if where you are, you didn't get the alert on time, there was a lag, something happened, but you get in and now market price is 1.07688. Well, you know, you missed that first profit. Now they give a second profit of 1.08149. You might be able to get in that trade for a buy and gain those pips. The higher the number of the take profits, typically we only give 3. The lesser of the chance that it'll reach it. But the first take profit has a higher probability of being met. So you want to get in with enough room to gain whatever pips you're trying to get for that particular trade. Now, our strategy is 10 pips. However, if they have 25 pips, take the 25, you know. So that's how you determine if it's the right time to enter that trade based on the profit that they give you.
No. You talking about my credit card number? The credit card number?
Hang on, let me see if I can mute. All right, so did I answer the question for everyone? Does everyone understand what the take profit 1, 2, and 3? I don't remember who asked me that question, but that's what that means.
It's Beverly, I asked you. I understand.
All right, Beverly, do you have any more questions about this?
Yes, when you get to it about the stop loss.
All right.
I keep getting, you know, I was given that, you know, was given how to do it, but I can never do it when I'm not by myself. So
I
how
got
to
you.
make that
All
stop
right,
loss.
so at this point, you need to know how to do it actually on your chart. Cool.
Right.
All right, let's migrate back over to the chart. Hold on. All right, my chart should be showing. And so knowing how to get in a trade, get out of a trade, there's a couple of ways. I use a shortcut. This little thing up here, I can enter a buy, enter a sell, and be just as fine. You can open up your market watch, double click on it, and here this will open up. What on the AUDJPY?
Your screen ain't your mouse is
Okay.
Is it moving? Your mouse not moving.
Hold on. I got it paused. There we go. Y'all with me now, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I had it paused. All right. So this thing here is my shortcut that I use. You see, it's one click trading, right? I can click it right here. My lot size is already set. I can click buy or I can click sell, and I will enter whatever that trade is that I select. That's one way to enter the trade. Another way is over here in your market watch. You double click a pair that you want to get in. This window opens up. Notice here you got stop loss. You can set it for whatever you want it to be. If you down click it one time, it usually goes to right where price is at, closer to it. They give us those numbers so you can delete it out and you can type it yourself, whatever the number may be. Over here, you got to take profit. Same rule applies. You can clear it out, type whatever number you want it to be. You can tell market whether you want to take a sell or you want to take a buy. Now, this obviously takes a lot longer. They just called the signal. You're trying to get in, and here you are trying to squint your eyes and type all this mess in. This is why it's a longer process, but I'm showing you that this is an alternative, right?
I got a question on that process before you go on the screen. Hey, when you go up there and set up the market execution, say if you do a pending and everything, and then it'll say buy, sell, or yeah, right there, do pending. Go ahead and hit that right quick.
Pending order.
Yeah, pending. Okay, right there where it says buy limit, and if you hit that down arrow. Okay, what's the difference from buy limit and buy stop and sell limit and sell stop?
Okay. Hang on one. Well, I had a call, but it's fine. All right. So buy limit means you're telling market. Matter of fact, let me see if I have this graph. Bear with me. See some a good question. Give me 1 second. Let me find this thing because this is what helped me get a understanding of it. When I first started trading, I'm a visual person, so I have to see it in order to get it.
I saw some type of graph or something that had like a period and then there was like an arrow that went up to the ceiling and came down, and I've seen that visual before, but I still don't necessarily get it. So I need more explanation behind it. And I feel like those definitions are something that are important for me at this point.
Okay. All right. So now in our group, do y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So in our group, we don't do buy stops, buy limit, sell stop, sell limit, but I still want you guys to know what it means. Because when you trade on your own, you may use it. All right. So each one of these boxes has a red line. The red line is where price is. So when you want to do a buy stop, that's where you prices below, prices here. Let me take it again. The order is placed above price and price keeps going up. You're anticipating, here's price down here, and you're anticipating that price is going to get here. This is where you might set an alert. You know, they talk about an alert. Well, you might set a buy stop here because if it goes past there, you want to take that trade. You've done your analysis. You feel like price is going to go up. Once it passes whatever limit you set, you want to jump in, but you may not be able to be at your computer at the time to click buy. Well, you set a buy stop. It's letting market know that once the price has passed this level, you will enter into a buy. You will be in that trade, an active trade. It will do a market execution at that level. The reverse applies for the sell stop. Part you hear, you're anticipating price to drop. You got to take your family to the grocery store. You got to step away, whatever the case may be. You say, I did my analysis and I believe price is going to drop past here. You set your sell stop. Well, if price never goes back here, your market will never execute that order. If it does pass it, you're in a sell. You're going down. Okay. You will already have your lot size set up. You'll already tell them where you want to get into that sell at. And why we do sell stops and buy stops, because support and resistance may play a role where you don't know if price is going to get to that point in reverse. So you set a stop above where you think it might reverse so that if it does go your way, you at least get an opportunity to get into that trade. And as well for the reverse. You believe price is going to pass this level, but there's some support you don't know. Well, if you set it below that support line, if price does drop below that, you're in that trade. Now, buy limit means that price is dropping, but you're anticipating that it's going to reverse. So you're telling them that once it hits this limit and it goes back up, you want to get into a buy. You're anticipating that price is now dropping. It's in a retracement, but you feel like it's going to go back up. You set a buy limit at this particular number. Once it hits and bounces, you're in that trade for a buy. The same for the sell limit. Price is climbing up. You think it's in a retracement, but it's in a downward trend. We're in a sell trend. Once it hits that limit, it's going to kick you in and execute that trade for a sell with whatever parameters you set.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. So let me go back to the chart. So here we are, pending order. These are called pending orders. You want to be in a buy limit. Buy limit tells us market is going down. We are anticipating it going back up. So you set your buy limit because price is coming down. So let's say you feel like price is going to get right here and go back up. You will set your price limit for 0.69520.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You will make sure that your lot size, volume here means your lot size, that you are where you want to be. If you wanted to set a stop loss at this time, you have time because you're not doing an immediate market execution. But you're anticipating that market is going to come down here and go back up because of this structure. You're going to put that pending order for a buy limit right there at 0.69520 and place it. Boom. All right. Once you place it, well, it hasn't taken it because I'm not in the right position.
And you
But
say y'all don't do what? What y'all don't do? We don't do what now?
we don't really do pending orders.
Pending order. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's what it's called. Stop loss, buy limit, sell limit. All of those are called pending orders.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because it means that you're placing an order, but you have not, it's not active yet. It's pending that market does what you want it to do before you get into that trade.
Gotcha.
All right, so all of this right here on my screen is called a pending order. We don't do them so much because we trade with scalpers. So when we scalp, we just get in the trade when we see it and we get out when we need to because we're right there,
Gotcha.
But that's what that is. So, but for purposes of now, you would be doing your market execution, making sure your lot size is what it needs to be, and you're either going to sell or you're going to buy, and you place your order.
Okay, that really didn't I didn't answer the question. What I'm trying to say is it's a dash line. It's got a lot of dashes.
Yeah, I'm about to enter a trade now and show you how to set your stop loss, but we got sidetracked with that question.
Okay.
So let's place a buy. All right. So I'm in a buy, and right now, being in this buy, you see these little dashes on top of my little green line. That's where I entered price at. That's not what I wanted to do. I went to the line, the dotted line. That's my current price. That's where I'm at. That's where I entered the trade. I left click and I drag it down. That's at, see over here, that's SL, that's my stop loss. That means because I'm in a buy, I'm anticipating market to go up. But if it reverses and go where I don't want it to go, this is the farthest I want to go before I want my broker to take me out this trade.
Okay.
So wherever your dotted line is, and because, let me try to zoom in, because it's close to where price is now, this solid green line is kind of in the way. But the dotted white line behind, all I did was I took see where I hovered over it, it says drag to modify.
Yeah.
That lets me know I'm ready to hold my left mouse button. Don't let it go until I get to where I want it to be, my stop loss. And if I'm counting 20 pips, I'm gonna subtract in my mind, okay, I'm at 20 pips now here, yeah, that's it, I'm gonna let it go. It sets my stop loss for me.
All right.
If you were in a sell, the same applies, you would drag it upward. So basically your stop loss is gonna go where you don't want price to go because you wanna get a profit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a buy, you want price to go up, your stop loss is gonna be down. If you're in a sell, you want price to go down where your stop loss need to be up.
Right.
Because you're anticipating that the possibility of price going the opposite way, and that's gonna make you get a loss. So we wanna stop that loss before it goes and blows your account. All right. So that's what you do. You can practice it with your demo account, setting a trade, left click, drag it down to where you want, let it go. You hear that pop, you know that your stop loss is in.
Is that when you put the trail? Is that got something to do with Trail Master there?
No, the Trail Master, that is a indicator, a trailing stop. It does it for me based on how I set it. But when we're in the live trade sessions, they don't do it. So I would advise that if you're going to set a stop loss, you do it that way for how the group is doing it. If you're trading on your own, you can use the trailing stop. Basically, I use a trailing stop if I'm long-term trading. I'm in a trade, I'm off to work, I'm not at my computer. I set what I wanted to set. So while I'm in profit, it goes up. And as long as I'm in profit, I won't go reverse all the way down where it takes all my profit. That's the only time I get trailing stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm, yeah. 'Cause I be at work.
But it moves with price. So wherever price goes as I'm in profit, my trailing stop number is going to change. This one is permanent. If I don't do any, I have to physically come and drag it in order for it to move. The trailing stop does it for you.
So you have to add an indicator to the trailer to do that.
Say it again.
You have to add an indicator to do that.
Yes, yes. I went over in the beginning of this session of how to add indicators, but you would go to File.
Oh, I know how to add the indicator.
Right, but the trailing stop goes into the expert, not the indicator.
Expert, okay.
Yeah.
And that's on the team training.
It is.
That's templates, right?
It is.
Okay.
You go to MQL4 and then you would see the experts right here. And there you see my trailing stop. I have 2 of them, but I mostly use that top one, the one that's on our team website.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, did I answer the question about the stop loss good? Or if you want, we can go over some more.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Good deal.
You said left click and drag, right?
Yep.
Well,
Well,
I'm glad you showed me because I had a brain fart this morning and I had to set it up on my phone.
Like, what in the world?
Did you say you were gonna have this class again?
I will do it. I'm offered to my folks. Some of them did not make it on, but I will, you know, I make sure I get permission from our leaders. I don't want them to have something else going on and it kind of doesn't go right.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they
Yeah,
have
'cause
no conflict.
I came in the middle part, and I want to see how you do it from the beginning, how to set.
Okay,
everything.
I did record. I am recording, so
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm gonna try to send it up on YouTube, and I'll send out the link. But we'll still
Okay.
try to. I like to be interactive to answer questions, so I will be doing this again.
All right.
But another thing about the stop loss, if you can't get the drag, if the drag thing just doesn't work, all right. Where your dotted line is, if you double click it, you'll be able to pull this up. And now you can type it in manually here, what you want your take profit to be, what your stop loss to be. You'll modify it and you'll click down here, okay? So I'm gonna do it again. Double click the dotted line, not your stop loss dotted line. Notice over here, it tells you if you're in a buy or sell. This is where you entered that trade, right? So when you double click it, it will open up your order window. If you want to modify this order, it would already be set to modify, defaulted to modify. You can set your stop loss manually by, okay, I know my stop loss number is going to be 69530. That's what I'm going to set it to. 0.65. I'm dyslexic today. 69530. Let's say they tell you take the TP1, the take profit 1, like Federa gives us, you will put that number here if that's what you desire to do. Once you have everything in that you want, click this blue thing here that says modify, and notice it moved my stop loss for me to right where I want it to be. So if you're having issues with dragging and dropping it and getting precisely where you want, you can start out with just dragging it somewhere and then just double click on the sale price and it'll open up and you can adjust the numbers. You can use the little arrows or you can type it in, whatever you want the number to be. Click modify and it will modify it for you. So that's another way that once you're in the trade, you have a little more time to go back in and adjust your stop loss.
Okay, this is on the demos, right?
Yeah, this is on any chart, whether you're a live account or demo account. Ma'am?
I clicked on it one day and I said, what in the world is this? Let me get out of this because I thought I was beginning the live trade and I wasn't ready for that. So,
all right, so
glad you went through that.
Up here, where my mouse is, I'm in a demo account. When I do training, I do demo account.
Okay, okay.
So that'll let you know, as long as this says demo, anything you do would only affect your demo. If that says live, then you're on a live account. So if you mess up, it's a little more less unnerving because you know it ain't your real money, right? That's why we advise people get on your demos when you're learning a new strategy, anything. It's okay if you say oops on a demo than when it's your real hard-earned money. So, you know, that's why I entered this trade. I don't even know where my pips are at. I just did it for purposes to show you guys what we can do with the stop loss stuff because I'm on a demo.
Sybil, the main, well, for beginners, the main 3 strategies is Gulf of Mexico, fractals, and then what was a third one? Fractals, and I forgot what he said this morning.
All right, so the strategy is the Gulf of Mexico. We have the strategy 10 pips and dip.
That's what it is. 10 pips.
10 pips and dip. So hang on a second. So the 10 pips and dip strategy basically is not so much about a chart setup as it is of what we're doing when we're in a trade. We're taking 10 pips and we're dipping. They use, I know James Vassar, he does the Asian session. He uses the 50 moving average. I'm about to get into the moving averages now. I know that's the last thing that we probably will go over. He uses the 50 moving average to mark his charts. He uses other indicators. He uses the Wadatar. He uses the, my brain had a binary.
That's okay.
Yeah, he uses other indicators with the 50 moving average to determine when he's going to take a trade. The Gulf of Mexico uses the fractals, and he uses 3 moving averages, the 100, which they call the ketchup, the 200, which they call the mustard, and the 5, which is the mayo, right? So, but we still do 10 pips and dip using the Gulf of Mexico strategy. Does that make sense? So I don't want that to be confusing. The 10 pips and dip is a strategy of how many pips we're going to take so that we will be following the plan of getting the $100 to make it after 90 successful trades. It will turn into $8,000.
Right.
But the charting strategy of the Gulf of Mexico is what we're using when we're doing the what indicators we're using. All right, so I'm going to show you guys.
I still don't understand. So you're saying we use it in conjunction, right? Is that what you mean? Mexico and the 10 pips, you're using it together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because there isn't any, there isn't a chart that I know of that's a 10 pip and dip chart. That strategy is just telling us how many pips we need to get every trade and what lot size we need to be based on the size of our account so that we can reach somewhere in 90 days. The Gulf of Mexico strategy is telling us how to make our chart so we'll know when to take our trades. When do we get in? When is it a good time to take a buy or a sell? So there are 2 strategies, they're titled strategies, but they're 2 different types of strategies. So the 10 pip and dip strategy is more about growing our account. The Gulf of Mexico strategy is how we take our trades. That's why both of them work together, because we use the Gulf of Mexico as far as charting and knowing when to get in a trade. And then we use the 10 pip and dip strategy to know when to set our stop loss, when to take our profit, when to get out of the trade. So that's why they kind of work together. But as far as a template, we only have a Gulf of Mexico template that you would see on the chart. We don't have a 10 pip and dip template. Did I lose anyone?
I got you.
Okay. Any other questions before I move on?
Hey, Sybil, this is Tish. I just want to.
How will I find this lesson once it's finished?
Say it again.
How will I find this lesson once it's finished?
I'm recording. I'm going to have to convert it. Then I'm going to have to upload it to YouTube because it's going to be a large file. So I'll be able to send out the link to it after I get all of that done. Great. But I will be trying to do this class again Lord willing, everything will work out and other people can get on that weren't able to get on today.
I hope so, because I'm missing a whole lot of meat here.
But I'll definitely have it recorded for people to go back and look at.
Great, thank you.
So, but I want to say thank you for doing this class. You know, a lot of the time, this is, especially, I want to say this, but especially in the Black community, this is like out of space stuff. Nobody has heard of Forex. I tell, you know, I tell my friends, they're like, oh, what's that money stuff? Oh, stock market, everybody loses, because people are so used to hearing, oh, anything with finances, you're gonna lose.
Right.
So when you take initiative to say, okay, I'm gonna join with this group and actually go, you know, go to long haul with this stuff, you don't want to feel kind of lost, because you already have a lot of
anxiety.
Yeah, people not rooting for you already. So this is like you really getting sick of your situation and you branching out.
Right.
And so I really thank you for, that's my son, but I thank you for doing this class, because I feel a little bit encouraged, like, yo, I could do this. I could really do this.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yes, ma'am. We can.
Awesome.
Yeah, I say this stuff, people think I'm crazy. They're, well, what's for? What the hell is that? How come I've never heard of it? And you feel a little bit discouraged. Oh, I wouldn't do it if I was you. You get a lot of that stuff. And it's like, a job is not reliable with this virus going on.
That's right.
It's scary
That's true.
now.
That is so true.
That's
You
right.
know, companies are folding even.
I actually lost my job yesterday, so
You see?
that's definitely true.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry to hear. But
But
still,
look
but
at
I
what
thank
God
God
did
for
to
you,
gain
because
to gain this. Look what God
with your
did.
training, I'm beginning to understand more and better.
Yes. Yep.
And I haven't even had myself set up yet.
Me neither.
Me
and
neither.
I need help with that. But the training that you did today was awesome, and I thank God for you.
Me too.
All right, so I appreciate that, guys. I really do. You guys are gonna make me cry, but because that's my life desire. Like, I love helping people. I'm a helper, but as far as setting up and things like that, we definitely need to get that worked out.
I just joined a couple of hours ago.
Okay, so what we'll do, I'll get with them, and like I said, I do this on my own because I don't want to conflict with something that the group has going on. So that's why I chose an earlier time, because I know later on in the evening we got agent session. They're gonna have the prayer call. I got to do the prayer, which I'm excited to do, but I know later on in the evenings is difficult, and I don't want to have someone feeling like they're being pulled in multiple directions. So I will do on my days off as much as I can, jumping on my Zoom, and I have the time. I love this. This is what I'm learning and helping myself, refresh myself, as well as helping other people. So that's the goal. That's why I love this team. That's why I don't mind doing it, because that's what we need. You know, I started Forex trading like a year ago, and I was in it for a month, and I'm like, I'm paying $100 and some for this. And I didn't have this kind of support. I didn't have this kind of contact. I didn't have no, when the guy told me, yeah, the videos is up there, just, you know, study it, you give about 30 days, you know, then you just taking live trades. I'm like, what? I mean, had no clue, you know, so understanding these basics will help you, because you already now have to get to the next level. Okay, when am I going to take this trade? When do I get in? When do I get out? So that's where the leaders come in, and that they're already there. So when we get on their live trades, they're like, all right, we're going to take this buy for GBP CAD, da, 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 da. And you're like, but wait a minute, but what about, what's the stop loss again? What's the take profit again? So that's why I did want to have something that was slower paced, where we don't have to be feeling like we're inconveniencing everyone else to ask a question when everyone's wanting to take a trade. You know what I mean? So that's what the goal was. So I'm gonna go over the Gulf of Mexico, the parameters of it. So you guys can write it down. I'm gonna show you how to apply the moving averages, how to set them up, and what the numbers are. So if those who are not yet set up, I would suggest that you send an email to group support. The support email address, I can't remember what it is right now, but I had someone that I actually was able to get on a Zoom with, and it didn't take but a few minutes, and the questions got answered, and that's the goal. So one of us in the leadership will get with you and have that one-on-one, so it won't be like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience everyone else because I have a question. You know, we need these questions answered. I don't want to see anyone sitting there looking at everyone else trading and their stuff ain't set up. That grieves my soul.
That would be me.
Who's that talking so I can get your name? Who's that talking? Okay. Send an email to the group, the support. It's in our Telegram group as well. Send an email that you need help setting up, and one of us will actually sit down with you and set up, and we can actually I can request permission to take control of your screen to walk you through so you can see it, versus me pointing, no, go there, go to the left. I can go in and do it and show you while I'm doing it, and sometimes that helps as well.
I'll put the link in the chat for the support.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you.
Awesome.
All right. So at this point, we've got our stop losses set. We've got our stuff. We've learned about the pending orders. Now I want to kind of go into getting the indicators for the Gulf of Mexico set. I have mine saved as a template. So once you set yours, I recommend, like I discussed in the beginning, to save a template, that you do so and name it the Gulf of Mexico, whatever you like. I believe they have it on the training website, or it will be. I know Donnie said they're revising the training website so that it can be more streamlined for us, so that we can go back and it'll be much simpler to follow. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. And I'm looking forward to see what the new site is going to look like. But I believe that is a template up there. But it's very simple. And the reason why I like the Gulf of Mexico is, like we talked about earlier, some of these other indicators do not work on mobile devices. They don't work on the iPad unless you have some additional settings with your VPN or you're doing remote desktop. But just to use your phone, just to use your iPad, just to use your whatever, your Android device, a lot of indicators don't work. They work only on a Windows-based or a Mac computer. So the Gulf of Mexico uses the basic indicators already coming with Metaphor. That's why I love it. I can use it on my phone and on my computer, and I'm with it. I'm even if I don't have my support and resistance, I still know what the fractals mean, and I'm able to go into a trade. All right. So the moving averages is what we need, and fractals, and our Gulf of Mexico will be set. So I'm going to open up this little gold file and star. That's your indicator list. And up here at the top are the basic ones that come with your Metaphor. You're going to open up trend, double click moving average. So the first one you want to set is your 5, your Mayo. Personally, it's no particular order, but I have OCD, so I have to go in order. I have to go to 5, 100, and 200. If I do anything outside that, it's going to drive me crazy. So just bear with me. So you set your period to 5. It's going to be exponential, close, and your color is going to be white. You want your lines to be solid. You can determine the thickness of the line based on your preference.
How are you? Good, how are you? All right.
I don't want it too thick personally, but I normally do the second line.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Still feel good outside?
Well, it actually feels better than earlier.
Oh, good, good. Who you see it again? Rosenthal?
Yes.
All right. So we got the Mayo set. All right. So that was a 5 moving average, exponential close. I set the thickness to a solid line to the second line, and there you see it's right there. That's your Mayo. So now you want to get to your moving average again. You want to left click on it until it's highlighted. Left click again and drag it over here. Let it go. It will open up the window. Your next one you're going to set is the 100, the catch up. Everything else stays the same. Change the color to red. All right, you got your catch up. Same thing again for the third moving average. It's already highlighted, so all I got to do is left click and drag it over and let it go. I'm going to change that to 200 and change my color to yellow. There's my mustard. All right, we're halfway there. All right, we're halfway there to the Gulf of Mexico strategy. All right, so now we need to add the fractals. Go down here to Bill Williams, expand it, fractals are right there. Just double click it. You can set it to whatever color you want, but we are typically all using yellow or gold. I have mine set to yellow. All right, I click OK, and there they are. So to explain a little bit, that I did say I wasn't going over strategy or trading, but when the ketchup is on top of the mustard, we're in a buy trend. That means market is going upwards. Okay, it's going up. From the time it crossed over to went up there, we are in a buy trend. There's a movement upwards. Now, granted, it was a little funky right here. It shot up. That might have been news. That may have been anything. Had a little bit of consolidation, came back down, but we're still above. So even if you got in here, you would have took a little loss. I got the wrong thing. Hang on, let me get the right. Even if you would have got in right where it crossed at, you probably wouldn't have got in there because the fractal pointed down. The fractal always has to point to the catch-up if you're anticipating a trade. So because we know we are above, we're looking for buy opportunities. The fractals are pointing down towards the catch-up. We probably would have been looking at this candle's fractal. We probably would have gotten in on this one because the next two candles were red, which means selling opportunities. We probably wouldn't have gotten in. We would have gotten in maybe on this one. We would have gotten in, we would have went up 16 pips and got out just from those two candles right there. Let's say we missed it, we didn't realize it, we stayed in. Now we're down, we're negative 39 pips. Somebody's crying, they're stressed out, biting fingernails and everything. Well, we know that we're still above the mustard or the ketchup, so we're still in the buy trend. There's still hope. Market does start going our way, and we would have got 50 pips, 51 pips. All right.
Sybil, can you explain real quick? You said you can the candlestick, you can read it going up, so you'll get 16 pips. I thought we were doing it across. For the 10.
The 10 pips is you get it whenever you can. So I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong thing.
Show me the 16 you said again.
All right.
Okay.
So I enlarged it and lost where I was at. All right, here I am. So let me mark it so I know where I am. Let me zoom in. All right. Oh, this thing here, let me take that off. Okay, there we go. All right, so I can move this now that I know where I am. This candle formed. We just had a cross where ketchup is going above the mustard, so we know we're going in a buy trend. This candle formed. This fractal would not have come until I think they say it's the second or third candle over. So once we saw this green candle, because now we're looking for buy opportunities at this point, that's the first green candle we got. It closed. We got here, here's a red candle. We wouldn't have gotten in because that's a sell. So the fractal form, we know now we're looking for another entry. Here's another green candle. If we would have gotten in at that green candle right here, if we would have went up, we would have got 15 pips. From this candle to this candle, because we're going in a buy. So it's an upward move. So from the bottom of this candle to the top where this one closed was about 15 something pips.
Okay.
Because we were going in an upward move. So we're looking for 10 pips. So if we would have twin traded, got in 2 times, that would have been 30 pips on that move, just from here to here. Now I'm on the hour chart, so that would have took 2 hours. But on a 15, if we're, let's say this was a 15-minute chart, similar candles, that would have been a 15 pip move from the bottom where price entered. Because remember, this candle came down because it was a sell. Came all the way down here, retraced back up to here where the body is and closed. So the next candle started and opened here. So I'm gonna go to the bar so you can see. This is where price opened on the left. The peg on the left is where price opened, and this is where it closed, this particular candle. Well, we didn't get out on that trade. Price opened here and closed up here. So from this open to this close was about 15 pips. So that's why I say if we would have twin traded, we would have got 30 pips just from that move. We would have been done for the day. But this fractal is what would have given us a reason, this crossing over, going into a buy trend, a buy candle, a fractal form. We had a red one, we wouldn't have did nothing. We had another red one, we probably would have thought it was going the other way. Oh, here come a green one we're in. Now they also teach us to make sure whatever candle we get on closes on or below or above, depending on if it's a buy or sell, the Mayo. So knowing that strategy, they have the video on our website. I recommend everyone go and watch it when you're ready to learn the strategy in more detail. It's a very good training. Nate did a really good job breaking it down. It's like second nature to him. I learned a lot watching it, and I still watch it. And I'm probably gonna watch it again this week to make sure I have the strategy down pat. And the more you watch it, the more you have understanding. But I'm just giving you an overall of how a move takes place and why you will know that you are in a buy trend, because that ketchup is on top of that mustard. The fractals give you a form, they say it lets us know where that support is. So that's going to be the next thing, and I think the last thing we talk about is support and resistance, because I think that's important to us as traders. Support is always going to be the floor, and resistance is the roof. Resistance is selling pressure is pushing the market down, and support is buying pressure and it pushes the market up. So when you do your analysis, whenever you are making any doing your top-down analysis, you'll hear that terminology. When you get to that point, and I don't want to overload you guys, because at this point it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not relevant, but just so that you'll have some familiarization with what I'm about to say. When you start doing your analysis to know, I believe I'm in the buy trend, I believe this is a support level, I believe this is a resistance level, we have an indicator that gives us that information, the support and resistance indicator, supply and demand. It gives us the blue lines and the red lines, and they tell us we don't want to trade in structure. That's because when you see those levels, that means either that price is going to go another way, or it's going to go the way we want it to go. So knowing the fractals that point down, when they point to the catch-up, if I'm not mistaken, they said that that is an indication that that's a support zone. Whenever they're pointing to the catch-up, so that will let us know that there's a potential that market is going to go the opposite way. Okay, but I want you all to watch that video when it comes to this strategy, because I do not have it down pat, and I do not want to mislead anyone. But I do want to continue to learn this strategy, because it has been lucrative for a lot of people, including myself. It made it simpler to let me know, when do I need to get into a trade? All right, I got all these bars, these candles, these wicks, I got all this, but when do I get in a trade? This strategy, once you fine tune it and get it under your belt, it helps you to know when to get in and when to get out. When to get in, when to get out. Support means the bottom, your floor. Resistance is the roof. Whenever you see, I'm trying to find the indicator now. All right. This is showing where there's a lot level of support here. Notice when we see that, the price does go up. This is a level of resistance. They call this anything inside of this block. You'll hear Donnie say, I don't trade in structure. I don't trade in structure. That's what he means. Trading in this block, you don't know if price is going to go down or if it's going to push past it and go on up. But this is a form of resistance. That means there's some buying, some selling pressure in the market wanting to push price to go back down. This is an indication that there's buying pressure wanting price to go up, okay? Like a family feud thing. So knowing where your support is from your resistance is important. If you use this indicator, it simplifies it. The blue is support, the red is resistance, okay? This is your floor, this is your ceiling. And the floor gives opportunities for price to go up. The resistance wants price to go down. I want to make sure that I did go over everything I had intended. All right, so the trends, we understand that a trend is the way price is going. You'll hear the leaders of the group reference to counter trend trading. So what they are referencing to, let's ignore the ketchup and the mustard right here for a minute. Here is an upward trend, right? On this chart, price is moving up. This is a bullish trend. This is price going up. Here, there's some consolidation, and then price comes down. Well, we believe at this point, looking at the ketchup, looking at the overall move of price, we're in a uptrend. So we would be looking for buy opportunities. Well, here we do see there was some retracement, and a skilled trader may get in and take these few pips, however many it may be. Even though we're in a buy trend, they would take this sell opportunity. That's counter trend trading because the overall trend is going up, but someone took a sell opportunity on a retracement. It is not advisable for a new trader to do it, because if you are not understanding how a retracement works from the overall trend, Kirk has a saying, trade with the trend is your friend. You will not, you stand a chance to see more losses when you counter trend trading inexperienced than if you do trend trading inexperienced, okay? But so you'll know what they're referencing to, that's counter trend trading. You're taking a sell in a buy trend. All right. I do want to touch on one other thing, lot sizes, lot sizes, lot sizes. All right. You use your one-click trading, or if you actually open up your market execution, always your volume is considered your lot size. This number right here, that's your lot size. We have a chart that they show us almost at every trading session we do that tells us what column we should be in, meaning what lot size we should have based on the dollar amount in our account. Do not over leverage your account. $14 profit is $14 profit. Yes, it would look better if it was $140 profit, but losing $14 compared to losing $140 is a big difference, okay? So if you have $100 in your account, you don't want to go and over leverage and be spending a whole dollar for in a trade, because then that means you're going to lose that dollar quickly. You want to be at 0.01, that's 10 cents. 0.10 is $1. 1.0 is $10, okay? That's a rule of thumb to remember. Don't go by, it does not go like how we do our dollar currencies, because you look at that, it looks like it's 10 cents. No, that's actually $1. So in your mind, I want you to visually move that decimal in your mind 1 over to the right, so you'll know exactly what amount you're at, okay? Make sure your lot sizes are where you need to be for the amount that's in your account, whether you're in a demo or on your live account. We should all be focusing on the demo at this point, All right, I got some questions. Hold on. All right. Any questions at this point? Any questions, anything I can answer? We got question and answer time.
So the Mayo, you don't really need it if you can visually look at it and see the trend. You don't need the Mayo.
Well, for the purposes of the strategy, you do. Because the Mayo will tell you more precisely on which candle to enter the trade. After you get the fractal, after you get the confirmation of the ketchup and the mustard, the Mayo will tell you which candle to get in on, okay? I'm not don't focus so much on the strategic part of it from this class. What I wanted you to get an understanding of is what the fractals are, what it means when the ketchup is above the mustard, but the Mayo shows you more precisely which candle to get in on. And but I do not, like I said, I'm still learning the strategy myself, and I don't want to mislead anyone, so I don't want to go too far into it until I have a better understanding of my own self. So like I said, I'm gonna be watching that video again myself.
Okay, and where in the group is it under? Is it on the main page?
Now they are redoing the website, and they have redone it. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. Hold on a second.
It's under the Team Extreme and under, oh my goodness, Team Zooms.
See, and they changed it. They have now I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can see. All right, y'all see the website? They've changed it. They have home, day 1, day 2, day 3, indicators, our strategy. So it might be under our strategy. I'm gonna click on it in a second. Now that open prayer calls, our strategy.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, we got it under our strategy, and here's the Gulf of Mexico. So when you guys go to the team website, click on our strategy, enter the password, and down here is the Gulf of Mexico with fractals, taught by Nate. And this is the 10.
Okay.
So
Perfect. Thank you so much.
They changed that since this morning when I was on it.
Yes, they're working on it now. And I think, like Donnie had mentioned on the New York session, we was up there, they're streamlining this website. They're hoping to have it finalized today so that it's a very much more easier to follow system. So like I said, I'm excited. I don't know if this is the finished version, but they've been working very hard on it. So I'm looking forward. They want all of us to go to the website and go through it again as well, so we would also know how to advise the people on our team. So I'm excited about that. But for now, this is where you get it. So I want to definitely be watching this later on today or tomorrow. But I think it's a very good strategy. It really, really is. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, I
thank you so much for all this good information.
Yes.
You guys are welcome. I'm grateful. I'm grateful you guys chose to stay with us and do this training. I will do it again. I am going to do it again, especially for my team. And again, I'll share the information that's, it's not conflicting with anything going on in the group. I think it's a lot of information, but it's needed. I am going to try to upload it and put it on the YouTube so that I can send it to whoever would like it. And it's going to be the whole time of it. Some of you missed the beginning. Feel free to go back and watch it.
I would love to see it again.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely process it and set it up. And if there aren't any more questions, then you're welcome, Rebecca. You're welcome, Michelle. Thank you, guys. We'll do this again. And again, if you have individual questions needing to get your stuff set up, please use that support email I think they did post it in the chat. It is very helpful. We get it. We all have a team of people that are responding to them. So within 24, 48 hours, someone will get back with you, and we will jump on a Zoom with you. We'll do what we can to get you guys where you need to be. So do not hesitate to use that. It's a very good tool out there for you all, and definitely use it. And if I'm fortunate enough to be one of the people to help you, by all means, we'll get it done. We shall do it. We shall.
Miss Sybil?
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sybil. Thank you.
I'm Arlene, and the reason I didn't really set up is because I needed to understand the definition of the words that they were using in the trading jargon. I felt like I've had to look at the training verbiage and try to study it and understand it, because I'm a social worker. I've never done anything business like this in my field of work. So I had to learn the definition of spread, or those basic words. So that's why it's taking me a little longer.
Wow. Well, the good thing about it is I know we were having the basics training that we were doing as a group, and Tish, she's up here. I don't know if she's still up here. She's an awesome teacher. We had a PowerPoint, and it broke all of that down, but we got all the information from our back office in the Tradera. We just compiled it into a PowerPoint, but the info is there. And that's another thing I will be doing with my team, just going over some terminologies and different things as they come. I've done it already with the group I have now, but the newcomers, that's what we do. And I think they're going to resume it with the group, or they'll have a video of the PowerPoint. But it's it breaks that down. What's a pit? What's a spread? What's
right?
All of that information. So I was talking to Donnie about doing that video, and then we kind of they started working on the website. So that will be forthcoming. But in the meantime, grab what you can, and definitely get in your back office and look under the Forex tab. They have all of the literature. It's PDF files. You can read it on your phone. You can read it on your iPad. You can read it on the go. And it breaks down. No PDF is more than 3 pages. It's mostly like single pages. They got pictures. It's really, really, really informative.
Yeah, I've looked at them, and that's why I feel a little bit better hearing the conversation, because I've read some of the files like 2 or 3 times to just get it in my head. And so just listening to the training, I was like, oh, I remember that. That's the difference from this and this. Because, this is all new. It's like you have to really think when you're not used to it. So I'm getting there. It's taking a little time to learn this verbiage.
Well, I understand, and by all means, get your demo account running. Get the more you do it, and the more you get on our live sessions, you'll hear more terminology. I mean,
right.
It just becomes part of your you just start. No, I've heard that.
Right.
It becomes second nature. So continue to apply yourself in those.
Thank you so much.
Because it'll come. It will.
Hey, Sybil, this Tish. I'm still on with you, girl.
Hey, Tish. Hey,
you guys got an awesome business partner. Sybil is awesome.
Tish, we got to get up. I didn't even get up with you. I saw your text, but I was I didn't hear it. I had my Bluetooth on. So yeah, we got to get up. We'll
get out there and get to walking. I have to get some of this quarantine off of me.
You were awesome. I love it.
You guys have been so great. I had a good time. Thank you all.
Oh, and by the way, I am going to make sure that we get this video on the website.
Okay. Awesome.
Sybil, you said the PDF with the words, the different words is in the back office.
Yeah, the PDF, yes. If you go in the back office,
okay,
you'll see it in there. It's under the training. It's under the Forex tab.
I'll find it. Okay.
It's the very first top one, the Forex, and they have the different units. You just click on the first one and keep moving forward. It's about 9 or 10 of them, I think, but we compiled 1 through 6, I think it was, Tish, that we put in that PowerPoint.
Yes.
And it breaks it down really easily, simply. But it is back in your back office.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. If there's no more questions, we're gonna end the call at this time so I can get it.
I had one more.
Sure.
This is Michelle McRae.
Hey.
Did you say give us your email if we wanted to be notified when you uploaded this video?
So if you will send me an individual message on Telegram, I don't want to flood the group with a bunch of questions or emails and everyone has each other. Send me an individual message on Telegram and I'll have your email address and I could just send you the link. And I don't know if we're Facebook friends, just send me a message on Facebook. That works too.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll probably be somewhere about later on this evening. I don't know how long it's going to take to convert the video, but I will, that's what I'll do. And then I can get it to you individually.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let me check the chat box one more time. You guys are welcome. Thank you guys. All right. We'll meet again, hopefully in the future, but I'll definitely look forward to seeing you guys at 7 p.m. We're going to have a prayer call. Mr. Kirk has put together for us, and they do it every Tuesday. And I've been humbly asked to pray for this team, for our nation, for everything that we got going on. I mean, it's always good to pray. Tish, I need to hear you praying. I hear you praying. I hear you praying. Yeah.
I heard you gonna pray tonight.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, I won't be able to be there because I've got class at 7. I was so hurt when I looked at the time.
Oh,
but
no.
I said, that's all right. Yeah, girl, I want to be there so bad. This Apostle McIver that prayed last Tuesday night.
Girl, I'm still on fire from that.
I'm still on fire.
I knew your voice. I just felt the Holy Spirit on me from that anointing on your voice. I thank God for the prayer. Yeah, it's gonna be on the site, but I thank God, and we're with you in spirit as you're in class, Apostle.
Yes,
but thank you for that prayer. It was powerful. God definitely moved. And he's still moving, and he's awesome, and he's always going to be right where we need him to be. And I thank God for that.
Amen. I wanted to be there tonight because I love to support, and I love to support one another. And I looked up and saw that. I'm like, yes. And then I looked up and saw 7. I said, no.
I know that's right, Apostle. Tell her. Okay.
Oh, that thing hurt me so bad. I said, no,
My
no.
God.
But that's all right. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna hear you. I'm gonna get a chance to hear you. But I just want to know what happened.
Apostle.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Before you end this call, I think you need to end it with a prayer. Amen.
We can pray.
Amen.
I'm always up for prayer. God is good. He's good all the time, and all the time he is good. All hearts and minds are clear. Just pray with me. Pray with me.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Father God, we just thank you right now for everything you are doing in our lives. Oh my goodness, you are so great. You are so awesome. Worthy to be praised, God. There's never a time we should not be able to lift up our voices with a thank you unto you, God.
Hallelujah.
You have done all things, God, even when we didn't deserve it, God. And you kept those things that we did deserve from us. And we say thank you, God. We thank you, God, that you did not give us what we deserve, God. We thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, Lord. We thank you for the opportunity that you have allowed us to be able to even repent for our sins, God. So search within our hearts right now, God. Anything in there that is not pleasing unto you, God, we ask that you create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us right now.
Yes, Lord.
God, we need you right now on today, God. Whatever's going on around us, God, all the viruses and all the disease, God. But first, we need you to clean us up on the inside, God.
Yes, Lord.
Know that everything that we are is for you, God. We ain't scared of no virus. We ain't scared of this or that. As long as we got you on the inside, God.
Hallelujah.
We can do all things through Christ Jesus.
Yes.
And by his stripes we are healed, God.
Yes.
Lift up our voices unto you right now just to say thank you. God,
thank you, Jesus.
For anything, because you already done enough, God. You are omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, God. You are all over, everywhere, at all times, God. You are just there, God, and we want to be.
Hallelujah.
So even though we are experiencing social distancing, God, let us draw nearer to you so you could draw nearer unto us, God.
Yes, Lord.
To be in your presence, God. We just want to feel your anointing, God. We just want to
feel God.
Around us, God. We just want to see the hedge of protection around our family.
Hallelujah.
Every family represented
Thank you,
here on
Lord.
this line right now, God. We say right now that we offer ourselves up unto you, God. That
Thank
the
you,
enemy has
Jesus.
to flee, God. It's too much power on this line right now in the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
The enemy has to flee, God, and everything that we touch shall prosper, God.
Thank you,
Everything
Lord.
that we do shall glorify you in the name of Jesus, God.
Yes, God.
Everything
Yes.
that we say shall glorify you, God. We want to be the atmosphere changers. We want to be
Thank you, Lord.
change the atmosphere, God. Everywhere we go, we shall say, what is it that about that person?
Hallelujah.
God in us, and let it be shining bright in a world full of darkness, in a cold and dying world, God. Oh,
Yes,
God, use
Lord.
us for your glory,
I
God.
think the color would
Use us
go
for your
great.
glory, God. Use us
As
for
long
your glory, God.
just
Oh, in
notify
this
everybody
time
that
and
the
this
color
day,
is
God.
on.
Lord, no
Send them
matter
a
what it
Hallelujah.
is that we go
box, or
back
you can
to, God,
and send them an
we
email.
just want to say
Let them
thank
know
you,
that,
God.
you know,
You have
Yes,
kept
it's
Lord.
us,
getting
Lord.
ready to
Oh,
start,
Jesus,
Thank
and
you,
Lord.
let them
Father.
know a couple of
Only
days
you,
ahead of
God.
time when
Nobody
the
else.
call is
Only
going to
you.
be,
Rebecca.
And
so they
so,
can
God,
dial
we
in.
say unto you,
Thank you,
for
Lord.
what you've done.
Rebecca.
Opening our minds to the things that we have, God. Giving us the
Yes.
prosperity and the promises over our lives, God.
Yes,
Giving us the
Lord.
tools to work it out for our own good, God, as you have
Yes,
promised
Hallelujah.
us to
Father.
do in Romans 8 and 28, Lord. Oh, Lord, the enemy is mad, Lord, but we shall
Yes,
keep him
God.
under our feet, God, and we shall keep walking in
Hallelujah.
our ordered steps, God. Oh, Lord,
Uh-huh.
bless the apostle, God. Keep her, God, as she does your work,
Oh,
Lord. The enemy is
yes,
mad
Lord.
because she does what you call her to do. Oh, but God,
Thank
she
you,
is
Father.
powerful. She is anointed, God, and you have chosen her for such a time as this, Lord. And I'm
Hallelujah.
grateful, God, that she's even in our midst, Lord. God, we
Thank you,
ask that you
Lord.
continue to cover her, her family,
Cover
her
her right
church, and
In
now.
the
everything
name of
attached
Cover her
to
right
it,
Jesus.
God.
now.
Oh, Lord, we
Yes,
ask that
Lord.
you lift up Sister Tish. Keep her, God. Oh, the ministry is great in Tish, God. You know
Yes,
what you
Lord.
planted in her, God. There's a
Yes,
word on the
Father.
inside of her, God. Oh,
In
God,
the
let it
name
be
of
heard,
Jesus.
God, so that people can draw nearer to you, God. Lord, we thank everybody on this line. We thank you for allowing us to
Yes,
assemble
Lord.
here, God. And there's no better way to end anything but to praise you. And so, Lord, give them the
Hallelujah.
highest praise. And we say
Yes.
hallelujah, glory,
Hallelujah.
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 hallelujah, God. Oh, we thank
Hallelujah.
you, Lord.
Thank you,
Thank
Hallelujah.
you,
Lord.
Lord. We
Hallelujah.
magnify your holy name on
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, God.
Thank
Lord,
you,
I pray
Jesus.
that you hear this prayer as
Yes,
we
Lord.
bombard heaven
In
with
Jesus'
our
name.
hearts
God.
open and full of love. In
Yes.
Yes,
Jesus
Lord.
Christ's name we pray and give thanks. Amen.
Yes. Amen.
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 Woo!
Hallelujah. Thank
Hallelujah.
you, God.
Jesus.
Hallelujah.
For that
Hallelujah.
word.
Hallelujah.
Woo.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm almost say, thank
Amen.
you,
Oh,
Jesus.
glory be to God.
Woo.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Ah,
Hallelujah.
Hey,
God.
Oh,
hey,
glory.
hey. Hallelujah. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, glory,
Thank you.
glory.
Glory to your name, Lord.
Hallelujah, God.
Thank
Woo,
you.
thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jesus.
Lord.
My
Thank you for
Lord.
giving me my heart's desire, because I want to hear you pray and
Ah,
hear
Yes.
everything you say. Won't he
Hallelujah.
do it? Won't he do it? Hallelujah.
yes, he
Yes.
will. Yes, he
Hallelujah.
will.
Glory to
Lord, I
God.
thank you.
Oh, that was good to me.
Ah, ah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah, you
glory.
go
Hey,
pray at 7 o'clock. I got mine.
come on. See? See?
I said, you
Come
go
on.
pray at 7 o'clock. I got mine.
Bless you, Apostle. Bless you. Bless you. God is
My
good.
Lord.
Bless you.
My Lord.
Bless
Yes.
you.
That message
Hallelujah.
went all through.
Glory to
Thank you,
God.
Reverend
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
God.
Sister.
Jesus.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
ladies.
Father.
You are some awesome ladies. I mean it. Ah,
Yes, y'all are.
thank
Love
you.
y'all.
Thank you. Love
Love you guys
you.
too. God bless you
Bye.
all.
All
God
right.
bless.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye-bye.
Ah.